Welcome to what is developing, everyone. Must be among the most captivating and dramatic plots of the tennis tournament in 2026 season. We are providing you with a webcast with timely, important news directly from the Middle East Wings court tonight, behind the brightly lit United Arab Emirates skyline. The Tennis Center at Aviation Club is getting ready for a much-anticipated battle. It is February 19th, 2026, Thursday, and the setting is unquestionably prepared for an exciting quarter-final matchup at the prestigious Dubai duty-free WTA 1000 tennis tournaments. Set aside for 11 p.m. time locally on the sacred grounds of Center Court. We are going to see an enormous struggle of youth, tenacity, and disparate backgrounds in tennis. On one side of the goal, standing in for the United States is the dominant nation in the globe. Number 4. The third seed in this competition and a double Grand Slam champion, Coco Gauff. Conversely of the internet, conveying the aspirations and the thunderous shouts of a whole country is the 20-year-old version of the Philippines' Alexandra Eala phenomena. This isn't only one more WTA match. This is the result of two remarkable travel paths, a story full of psychological manipulation, strategic intricacy, as well as historical importance. The fact that these two are getting together tonight is evidence of the harsh yet breathtakingly gorgeous characteristics of professional tennis. To recognize the significance of this 11 o'clock confrontation, we must first examine how both women punch their tickets in a spectacular way to this round due to the fact that there couldn't have in the previous 24 hours been neither more revealing nor more different of their mental states at the moment. Let's start with Coco, the American superstar.
Gauff.
Only a few hours ago, Gauff stepped onto the court against the astute Belgian Elise Mertens, veteran. And what happened was a match that would undergo analysis by tennis experts for the next weeks. It was a horrifyingly near miss for the American Gauff, which has created herself as an industry giant with triumphs at the US Open in 2023 and the French Open in 2025. She found herself looking straight into the depths of a startling round of 16 elimination. She was outplayed in the first set, falling from 2-6 in just 33 minutes. In her service game, typically a deadly weapon, it was malfunctioning at a startling pace. We are conversing about an incredible collection of 28 double faults throughout the competition, 16 so far in just one match. Her forehand was making unintentional mistakes, and she was clearly shaken, holding the significance of a recent run of disappointing results in Doha and Melbourne. However, for this reason, she is a repeated Grand Slam victor when Mertens played 3 different games.
Points.
A yield was rejected by Gauff. Tapping into a deep, almost primordial well of in the battle for survival, Gauff preserved those 3 points for the match. She made her way by clawing, returning to win the second set in an arduous tiebreak, triumphing 9-7, and then took that enormous emotional surge drive to win the decisive set 6-3. It was disorganized. Additionally, by her own acknowledgement in the post-game interview, she expressed her ambivalence by saying that she believed she had made progress backward in her game even if she received the triumph. However, she managed to survive, demonstrating the defining characteristic of a real champion: victory when you're playing far away from your best. Compare it to a painful marathon. Battle the perfect fairy tale Alexandra Eala's run. The youthful Filipina has been drawing the lines and winning people over in Dubai, having fun with calm, tranquil assurance that deceives her 20 years old. Eala is currently ranked. She is the 47th tallest in the globe. Ranked Filipina athlete across all the WTA Tour's history, walked onto center court to take against the powerful Sarana Cerci, a veteran from Romania. Cerci, who is going to retire at the end of 2026 season, was experiencing a perilous surge of form herself. Eala, however, was unfazed. Supported by thousands of amazing, deafeningly loud and passionate Filipino supporters who have resorted to the Dubai Stadium onto a home court for her in Diakto, put on a superb display of poise. She repelled Cerci's hostile baseline game, often broke early, and sealed straight-set victory, 7-5, 6 in only 1 hour and 38 minutes. This victory followed shortly after Eala removing the 8 jasmine seeds Polini the previous day. Eala is more than merely she's having a convincing victory. Without losing a single set while in Dubai so far, she is hitting the ball bravely, maintaining her composure in the clutch situations and riding an unheard-of surge of momentum that has seen her get her first WTA 1000 quarterfinal. Thus, the scene is prepared for a memorable meeting. Coco Gauff, the renowned champion competing against her own mechanics, and her elite search Alex, the up-and-coming star, against Rhythm having the time of her life while playing tennis, buoyed by an unprecedented surge of patriotism. Including a lovely layer of intricacy, it is a feature of this encounter that these two are not unfamiliar. Even if this is their first encounter in a singles rivalry on the WDA Tour, they exchange a past. They are peers who are divided by just a year old. They've jointly practiced as recently as last month at the Australian Open in Melbourne. Even more intriguing, they were partners in doubles just the previous year, collaborating at the Italian Open in 2025 in Rome and battling to get to the together in the quarterfinals. A deep regard for one another. As soon as Gauff completed her exhausting comeback against, she grabbed the microphone, Mertens, and listening to the large Filipino audience awaiting Ella's match, giggling, and said they were sorry to keep them waiting, recognizing their enthusiasm and hoping they're a perfect fit. Has then talked glowingly about Gauff, referring to her as a wonderful individual and an excellent role model. However, at 11 o'clock tonight, that friendship will be placed on hold. As soon as the umpire calls time, the high will be merciless. Fierce competition for a place in the semi-finals of among the most renowned competitions worldwide. Stay still because we're going to delve deeply and thoroughly into the tactics, the data, the historical background, as well as the enormous applying pressure on the shoulders of two of the outstanding athletes. Tio really recognized the seriousness of tonight's quarterfinal matchup. We must see beyond the narratives at the surface level and analyze the deeper currents that propel both Coco, Alex, Eala, and Gauff at that particular time during the 2026 season. We're examining a traditional sports paradigm. The established, closely examined elite champion attempting to right the ship off a courageous climbing competitor who feels she has nothing at all to lose and things to benefit from. Let's begin by considering Coco Gauff's present circumstances under a microscope. At age 21, Gauff has already experienced the WTA top is the pressure cooker.
5.
She came to prominence as a young adolescent and distinct from many children prodigies who become blinded by the lights of anticipation across the world. She really fulfilled her extraordinary pledge. Catching the 2023 US Open was a coronation, and it was confirmed by a 2025 French Open victory, solidified her heritage. She hit a career high, just last in the world standings at number 2 summertime. But the game of tennis momentum is renowned for being flowing and delicate.
Commodity.
Early in 2026, there have been a harsh test of Gauff's fortitude. We saw her sprinting to the Australian Open quarterfinals in January, but she was taken apart in less time by a revived Alina in less than an hour. Alina, a game in which Gauff clearly strove to maintain her calm, even shattering her racket in an uncommon display of complete annoyance. After Melbourne, the swing from the Middle East to the has been undeniably rocky. The previous week at the Qatar Open in Doha, she experienced an unexpected early departure at the hands of Cachito, Elizabeth. Currently in Dubai, a competition where she has previously tries to discover her greatest self-footing. She's progressed to the quarterfinals, but she's accomplished this by walking a tightrope that is very perilous. The main issue, the obvious red light flashing in Gauff's game, correct? It's her turn now. It is now a vulnerability. The figures are unavoidable. Reaching a double of 28 errors in a single competition before even making it to the semi-finals is an astounding figure for a professional athlete. It indicates a lack of trust in her second serve and her ball toss mechanics in a stressful situation. In opposition to she was repeatedly broken Mertens. What was not her execution that rescued her, but rather her renowned athleticism, her elite backhand, as well as her unbreakable obstinacy. Gauff has a unique equipment for competition that enables her to succeed unsightly. She is able to run, get impossible balls, and exert pressure on her rivals to continue playing till they shatter. However, depending only on defensive grit and opponent mistakes are a very unstable approach, particularly when confronted with adversary who is hitting the ball as with the same assurance and cleanliness as Alexandra Eala is at this moment. Gauff is aware of this. Her knight, the coaching staff, is aware of this. She unable to pay to see a free point on her service. She needs to figure out how to steady her speech and force her early aggressive baseline game, or she dangers of being removed from the court by the Filipinas' overwhelming momentum. Now, we should now focus on the amazing ascent of Alexandra Eala. The Eala story is quickly emerging as one of the most motivational stories in the world athletics. Originating in the Philippines, a nation that is intensely devoted to athletics, but without a rich history, a history of producing elite tennis champions, Eala has led the way. Right from the start, improving her skills at the Spain's esteemed Rafa and Nadal Academy. She had won the Junior Grand Slam, and the changeover to the Senior Tour is infamously challenging. However, during the past 12 to 18 months, Eala has not only changed, she's blown up. The pivotal moment appeared to be the 2025 season's conclusion. She managed to get the championship at the WTA 125 competition in Guadalajara and subsequently produced enormous runs for the headlines, arriving at the semifinals and the Eastbourne final in Miami, where she made a huge triumphs over heavyweights such as Madison, even Iga Swiatek, and Keys. She demonstrated herself into the changing area, where her peak level could undermine the absolute greatest in the world. She's brought the same unwavering courage into 2026. Following strong performances in Auckland's quarterfinals, she has arrived in Abu Dhabi and Manila. In Dubai, appearing totally unconcerned by the size of a WTA 1000 competition. Eala's game is predicated on the aggressive, contemporary baseline play. Being left-handed endows her with an innate benefit, creating angles on the court that players with the right hand just do not see as frequently. Her front hand is her court, and a powerful penetrating weapon coverage has significantly improved. However, what really makes her stand out this time? Her mental clarity is weak. Once more, Circe, a veteran who attempts to intimidate younger participants. Eala didn't flinch. When Circe Eala pushed back more forcefully, she is using a spoonful of thankfulness to play, as she made a stunning post-match appearance. Interview. But don't be misled. Beneath a modest facade lies a vicious rival who detects blood in the water. Additionally, we need to talk about the amazing external component of the crowd. Traditionally, tennis is a peaceful, courteous athletics. However, when Alexandra Eala sounds like a world play in Dubai, a football cup match, the enormous the United Arab Emirates diaspora has showed up in large numbers. They make noise, they are passionate, and they live and die with every single point she plays. For a 20-year-old, that kind of pressure can either crush you or elevate you. Thus far, it has acted as rocket fuel for Eala. She feeds off their energy. For Coco Gauff, who is used to being the crowd favorite everywhere she goes, especially in the United States, walking onto center court tonight and hearing the vast majority of the stadium actively cheering against her will be a bizarre and challenging psychological hurdle. Gauff will have to create her own vitality. She will have to find the quiet space in her own mind amidst the roaring chants for Eala. Tactically, this match presents a fascinating puzzle. Due to they have never played each other in a competitive singles match, the first few games will be a vital feeling-out process. Gauff will undoubtedly try to test Eala's backhand, looking to break down her timing with heavy spin and pace. Gauff's own backhand is one of the best shots in the world, and she will want to engage Eala in cross-court rallies where she can dictate the terms. However, Eala's left-handed forehand cross-court goes directly into Gauff's backhand, creating a strength-on-strength dynamic that will be absolutely thrilling to watch. If Eala can find her spots and dictate with her forehand, keeping Gauff pinned deep behind the baseline, she has a very real path to triumph. The ultimate key to this match, however, lies in the service boxes. Can Coco Gauff fix her serve? If Gauff serves at 50% and continues to hand out double faults, Alexandra Eala has a return game and the aggressive mindset to punish her severely. Eala will step into the court, take the returns early, and applies suffocating pressure. Conversely, if Gauff finds her rhythm, if she hits her spots and gets free points on her first serve, her superior experience in these late-stage high-stakes matches will become a massive advantage. Gauff knows how to navigate the claustrophobia of a WTA 1000 quarterfinal for an uncharted territory. It is a battle of God's supreme athleticism and championship pedigree against Ella's precise ball-striking left-handed angles and the unstoppable momentum of a Cinderella run. As we look ahead to 11 p.m. tonight at Center Court, it is impossible to overstate just how crucial this match is for the trajectories of both of these phenomenal athletes. We are standing at a fascinating intersection of their respective careers, and the outcome of this quarterfinal will send significant ripples through the rest of the 2026 WTA season. For Coco Gauff, tonight is about re-establishing her dominion. It is about proving to herself more than anyone else that she can navigate through a storm of technical difficulties and emerge victorious. A win tonight against a red-hot opponent like Eala in front of a hostile crowd would be a massive statement of intent. It would quiet the whispers about her current form and prove that even when her serve is misbehaving, her championship mentality remains completely intact. It would propel her into the semi-finals of a massive tournament, giving her the platform to hunt down her 12th career title and solidify her standing in the top 3 of the world rankings. More importantly, it would give her the vital momentum and confidence she desperately needs as the tour slowly pivots toward the grueling European clay court season, where she will eventually have to defend her crown in Paris. A loss, however, would be a severe blow. It would mark another premature exit in a big tournament and compound mounting questions regarding her service mechanics and her mental fatigue. Coco Gauff is a fighter, but she is currently fighting her own game just as much as she is fighting her opponents. Tonight is her opportunity to silence the noise and remind the world why she is a generational talent. For Alexandra Eala, the stakes are beautifully simple yet historically profound. She is already playing with house money. She's already exceeded expectations, secured her highest ever ranking, and proven that she belongs on the same court as the greatest players in the world. But a win tonight, a win over the world number 4, a 2-time Grand Slam champion under the lights of a WTA 1000 quarterfinal that would catapult Eala from a rising star to a legitimate certified superstar of the sport. It would likely push her ranking into the top 30, securing her seeding in future Grand Slams and altering the entire landscape of her career. But beyond the rankings and the prize money, an Eala victory tonight would be a monumental transcendent moment for Philippines. She is carrying the sporting pride of a nation on her racket. Every winner she hits is celebrated in living rooms and sports bars from Manila to Quezon City and beyond. She is motivating a whole young boys and girls generation in Southeast Asia for a tennis lesson racket and think they're capable of take over the world stage. Win or lose tonight, the fairy tale from the Philippines has been the most memorable aspect of this competition. However, as she succeeds in killing the massive Coco Gauff, which we will be observing the start of a new era in tennis for women. This game is everything a tennis purist could possibly desire. We possess the different styles. We possess the intriguing left-hander dynamics in opposition to the right-hander. We possess the fascinating background of 2 former doubles entering the court together as enemies. We bear the weight of anticipation on the shoulders of the favorite in America. Head-on collision with the joyful, fearless momentum of the underdog Filipino. Additionally, enveloping considering everything, we'll have an electric enduring ambience created by a fervent crowd beneath the desert sky when the athletes emerge from the tunnel tonight. Observe their eyes. Observe how her ball toss is handled by Gauff in the initial game. Observe how Eala handles the adrenaline from her biggest match youth. It will be a chess match, played at 100 miles per hour. It will be an exercise in fortitude, bravery, and sheer willpower. I really appreciate you joining me for this thorough, in-depth exploration of the thrilling quarterfinal this evening at Duty Free Tennis Championships in Dubai. I hope this thorough analysis has gave you all the background information, strategies, and plots you must completely recognize the genius that we are awaiting observation on the center court. If you liked this thorough analysis and would like to remain fully current with the most thorough reporting of the 2026, make sure you hit that during tennis season. Like this video, click the subscribe button, and activate your alerts so you never fail to receive an update. It would be wonderful to hear your ideas prior to the start of the game. Go to the comments section on the right. Now, let me know what you think of Coco Gauff. Will correct her serve and defeat the young challenger? Or do you think the fairy tale run of Alexandra Eala will proceed with the monumental upset of history? Tonight? Leave your guesses in the space provided below. Enjoy tonight's amazing tennis match. Everyone, do you want me to make a comparable in-depth examination for the semi-final contests following tonight's Are the Results Final?